A customer pulls into a gas station on the way to work. They are already late. They stop at pump number 4, tap their card, choose regular, and fill the tank. The screen climbs fast. $10, $20, $40, $60. To the customer, this feels like a big purchase. $60 for gas. $60 gone in 5 minutes. They look at the glowing sign by the road and assume the station owner must be making a fortune. But behind the counter, the owner is not celebrating. Because from that $60 fuel sale, the station may keep only a tiny slice after the cost of fuel, taxes, delivery, card fees, and operating expenses. The customer sees $60 leaving their bank account. The owner sees a river of money passing through the business without much of it staying there. Then something strange happens. The same customer walks inside. They are annoyed. They are tired. They need caffeine. They grab a $2 coffee, maybe an energy drink, maybe a breakfast sandwich, maybe a pack of gum they did not plan to buy. That tiny purchase may be more profitable than the entire tank of gas. And once you understand that, the gas station stops looking like a fuel business. It starts looking like one of the strangest retail machines in America. The pumps are not the treasure chest. They are the bait. The real question is not, how much gas can this station sell? The real question is, how many people can it move from the pump to the door? That is the hidden business model. A gas station does not begin with gasoline. It begins with human behavior. Most customers do not choose a gas station because they love the brand, admire the architecture, or feel emotionally connected to pump number 6. They choose it because it is on the correct side of the road. The price does not look insulting. The lights feel safe. The entrance is easy, and they can get in and out without thinking too much. That is the first rule of the business. Convenience is not a feature. Convenience is the product. The fuel gets the car to stop. The store gets the person to spend. A weak station only sells fuel. A strong station sells the moment around fuel. That moment is powerful because the customer is already there. They have already slowed down. They have already parked. They have already taken out their wallet. They are already thinking about the next part of the day. This is why the inside of a gas station matters more than most people realize. A clean store changes the business. A good coffee machine changes the business. A hot food counter changes the business. A bathroom that does not feel like a crime scene changes the business. A car wash, a loyalty program, a rewards app, a breakfast deal, a late-night snack section, a reliable ATM, a bright parking lot. These are not small details. They are the difference between a station that survives and a station that slowly becomes invisible, because fuel is mostly interchangeable. A gallon of regular gasoline from one station is not emotionally different from a gallon of regular gasoline across the street. If the competitor is cheaper by a few cents, many customers will cross the road without hesitation. But they may not cross the road for coffee they do not trust. They may not cross the road for a bathroom they know is dirty. They may not cross the road if your station is the one where they always buy breakfast before work. That is where habit becomes profit. The best gas stations do not simply wait for drivers. They build routines. The morning commuter gets the same coffee every day. The delivery driver uses the same bathroom and buys the same drink. The parent grabs snacks after school pickup. The construction worker stops for lunch because the hot food is fast, cheap, and predictable. The truck driver remembers which station has space, light, and clean facilities. Over time, the station becomes part of the customer's route. And once a business becomes part of someone's route, it becomes harder to replace. That is the dream version. But the dream is expensive. Before a gas station can become a habit machine, someone has to build or buy the property. And this is where the business becomes far more complicated than normal retail. A regular convenience store needs shelves, refrigeration, staff, inventory, security, utilities, permits, and a good location. A gas station needs all of that, plus the infrastructure to store and move thousands of gallons of flammable liquid under the ground. That means tanks, pipes, pumps, monitoring systems, environmental permits, safety systems, pavement, drainage, lighting, signage, canopies, and constant maintenance. From the road, a gas station looks simple. A few pumps, a store, a sign, some parking spaces. But financially, it is a layered machine. Above the ground, it is retail. Below the ground, it is industrial infrastructure. And between those two layers sits the owner, trying to make a thin margin product support a high-cost property. This is why the price of getting into the business can be misleading. Someone might look at an existing station and think, it already has customers. It already has pumps. It already has customers. I just need to buy it and keep it running. But what are they really buying? They are buying the location. They are buying the traffic pattern. They are buying the age of the tanks. They are buying the reputation of the store. They are buying the quality of the employees. They are buying supplier agreements. They are buying maintenance problems. They are buying whatever happened underground before they arrived. And that last part can be terrifying. Because one of the most dangerous parts of a gas station is something the customer never sees. The tanks. Every gallon that comes out of the pump first sits underground. If the system works, nobody thinks about it. The customer fills up, the cashier rings up drinks, the lights stay on, the station continues. But if a tank leaks, the business changes instantly. A slow leak can move through soil. It can reach groundwater. It can spread beyond the property line. It can turn a normal commercial property into an environmental cleanup project. And cleanup is not like replacing a broken coffee machine. It can involve testing, consultants, regulators, lawyers, insurance claims, remediation plans, and years of uncertainty. This is the hidden fear of owning an older gas station. You are not only asking, can this place make money? You are asking, what is buried beneath this money? A station can look profitable on paper and still be dangerous if the underground infrastructure is old, poorly documented, or previously neglected. A cheap purchase price may not be a bargain. It may be a warning label. That is why smart buyers do not only study the sales numbers, they study the dirt. They want to know when the tanks were installed. They want to know whether there have been leaks. They want to know whether monitoring records are clean. They want to know whether the property has environmental insurance. They want to know what happens if something is discovered after the deal closes. Because a gas station is one of the few small businesses where the past can explode into the present. The previous owner may be gone. The old records may be incomplete. The customers may still be buying coffee. But the liability can remain under the concrete, waiting. This is what makes the business so strange. The store inside may be selling snacks with healthy margins. The pumps outside may be attracting steady traffic. The land may be valuable. The location may be excellent. And yet one leak, one tank issue, one regulatory problem can erase years of ordinary profit. That is why owning a gas station is not passive income. It is not just buying fuel and reselling it. It is retail, real estate, logistics, food service, maintenance, environmental risk, staff management, security, and price psychology, all stacked on top of each other. And the owner has to manage all of it, while customers judge the business by one number on a sign. That number is the pump price. The pump price is the most visible part of the station, but it is also one of the least understood. When fuel prices rise, customers often assume the owner is getting rich. But the station owner may simply be paying more to buy the fuel in the first place. The higher price flows through the station, but most of it does not belong to the station. In fact, high fuel prices can create a painful illusion. Sales revenue goes up. The amount charged to cards goes up. The customer anger goes up. But the owner's actual profit per gallon may barely change. Sometimes the business handles more money, while feeling more squeezed. That is because the station lives in the gap between wholesale fuel cost and retail fuel price. That gap is often small, competitive, and fragile. If a station prices too high, drivers leave. If it prices too low, the margin disappears. If the competitor across the street moves first, everyone else reacts. So fuel pricing becomes a daily knife fight. But inside the store, the owner has more control. They can improve the layout. They can choose better products. They can sell food with stronger margins. They can create bundles. They can train staff. They can keep the bathrooms clean. They can make the coffee good enough to become a routine. They can turn a 5-minute fuel stop into a $7 basket. This is why the modern gas station is becoming less like a pump with a shop attached and more like a convenience store that happens to sell fuel outside. The most valuable customer is not necessarily the one who buys the most gas. It is the one who comes back often, walks inside, and buys things with better margins. That is also why large chains have an advantage. A single independent station has to fight for every customer with limited buying power, limited brand recognition, and limited room for mistakes. A large chain can negotiate better supply terms, build recognizable food programs, launch loyalty apps, use customer data, design better stores, and create a sense of trust before the driver even pulls in. For a small owner, the station is a business. For a major chain, each station is part of a system. That system can survive thin fuel margins because it makes money across many locations, many products, and many customer habits. The independent owner has fewer places to hide. One broken pump hurts. One bad employee hurts. One slow month hurts. One nearby competitor hurts. One jump in insurance hurts. One card fee increase hurts. One equipment repair hurts. The business may look simple to the customer, but the owner is managing a machine where every small problem eats into a small margin. Then comes the future. For decades, gas stations were protected by a simple fact. Cars needed gasoline. As long as people drove, they needed a place to refuel. The station was tied to the rhythm of American life. Work, school, highways, suburbs, road trips, deliveries, commuting. But electric vehicles change the rhythm. They do not destroy the gas station overnight. That is too simple. Gasoline vehicles will remain on the road for a long time. Many regions will continue depending on fuel. Some locations will remain strong for years. The threat is slower and more uneven. The danger is not that every customer disappears tomorrow. The danger is that enough customers disappear from the weakest stations first. A strong station with food, loyalty, clean facilities, and a great location may adapt. A weak station that only survives because drivers have no other choice may struggle. EV charging creates both an opportunity and a trap. At first, it sounds perfect. Replace the fueling moment with a charging moment. The customer stays longer. If they stay longer, they may buy more food, more drinks, more convenience items. But charging is not as simple as installing a new pump. Fast chargers can require expensive electrical upgrades, new parking layouts, utility coordination, maintenance, software, payment systems, and enough demand to justify the investment. A gas pump that sells fuel all day is an asset. A charger that sits empty is a very expensive symbol of the future. And there is another problem. Electric vehicles can be charged in many places. At home, at work, at shopping centers, at hotels, at grocery stores, at parking garages. The gas station no longer automatically owns the refueling moment. It has to earn the stopping moment. That may be the future of the entire industry. The winning station will not simply ask, "How do we sell fuel?" It will ask, "Why would a person choose to spend time here?" That question changes everything. A dirty station loses. A forgettable station loses. A station with no food, no trust, no routine, and no reason to enter the store becomes vulnerable. But a station that becomes a daily stop may survive even as fuel demand changes. Because the real asset was never only the pump. It was the location. It was the habit. It was the customer relationship. It was the ability to turn movement into spending. So when someone says they want to own a gas station, they may imagine a simple business. Cars come in, fuel goes out, money comes back. But the reality is much more complicated. The customer sees a $60 tank. The owner sees pennies fighting for survival. The customer sees a $2 coffee. The owner sees the real business. The customer sees a clean store. The owner sees labor, inventory, theft, refrigeration, maintenance, insurance, and rent. The customer sees a pump. The owner sees buried tanks, environmental risk, supplier contracts, card fees, price wars, and the slow arrival of electric vehicles. That is the economics of owning a gas station. It is a business where the biggest transaction may not be the most profitable one, where the smallest purchase may matter more than the gallon, where the land is valuable, the store is essential, the fuel is a magnet, and the underground infrastructure can become a nightmare. The old idea was simple: sell gasoline to drivers. The real model is more subtle: use gasoline to attract people, then make money by serving the needs they remember only after they stop. Coffee, food, restrooms, snacks, speed, safety, routine. That is what the best operators understand. They are not really selling fuel. They are selling convenience at the exact moment convenience becomes valuable. And that is why the entire business can be reduced to one scene. A customer spends $60 at the pump, and the owner barely keeps a few cents. Then the customer walks inside and buys a coffee. That coffee is the clue. Because if the station cannot make money from the person, it will never make enough from the gallon.